Hey everyone, welcome into the Flippin' Hippos YouTube channel. I'm Star the Flippin' Hippo. Today we're going to talk about some of the pros of reselling used or thrifted clothing on eBay, Poshmark, Mercari, Grailed, wherever you sell, whatever platforms you're on. There's a lot more than 5 pros to reselling used clothing, but I picked the top 5, the most common, and the 5 best reasons for people to break into reselling with clothing. A lot of people start with clothing, and there's reasons why. Number 1, it's easy to find. Like anyone in any city, state can go to any thrift store and find clothing, any yard sale, any church sale. You can clean out your own closets and get rid of clothes you don't wear anymore. You can clean out your kids' closets. You can ask friends and family to donate their clothing that they're not wearing to you. You can go to the bins. I mean, there's just nobody that lives anywhere that cannot get their hands on clothing. It is so easy to find, and that's why it's so easy to start with. And when you're first learning how to resell, clothing is probably the easiest thing to learn with, as far as photographing, listing, measuring, learning how to do shipping and the weights and how to price things and how to comp. And you will find an abundance of it, and you can keep flipping it. So you can keep taking your profits, reinvesting them into more clothing until you've grown your store. A lot of folks don't sell used clothing, but started in it and just worked their way up till they had enough capital to move into hard goods or electronics. So it is super easy to find. It's a really great way to start reselling. Everyone can find it. And the second thing, the second pro, is the low cost of goods. So not only is there an overabundance of it, heck, you can get some of it for free, but most of the time it's relatively inexpensive. You can get it by the pound at the bins for a quarter, 50 cents at yard sales. You can find half off days, 50-cent days, 99-cent days, depending on where you live and what your thrift stores in your area do. And I do recommend getting used to calling ahead if you're new, calling ahead to thrift stores and asking them, hey, what kind of sales do you offer? What days of the week? And then getting accommodated with the stores in your area, which ones run which sales on what day. I mean, some have sales for senior day, military day, half off day, 99-cent day. Just call around and find out what's going on and go to those stores on their sale days, and you can get tons of clothing at really great prices when you're just getting started. And even veteran sellers, I mean, we still try to obviously get our goods as low as cost we can, so we can make more profits, which results in more capital, reinvesting in your business, creating that funnel I'm always talking about. So the third thing is, I think clothing is easy to ship. I think that is definitely a pro, especially the first class items like your shirts and your skirts and your dresses, anything lightweight under 16 ounces, super easy to ship. You just throw it in a poly bag and off you go. It's easy to learn how to use first class shipping on eBay, because in the listing, you either just build the cost of shipping into the price, and you'll learn that as you go, and then you ship it with free shipping, or you can add an average of $4 to $5, maybe a little bit less if you're doing ties, maybe a little bit more if you're doing jeans, but you'll learn that as you go. And I thought it was really easy to learn, and they're super easy to ship. You can put clothing that weighs over a pound in a padded flat, off it goes. But first class is especially easy. The fourth thing is that everyone shops for clothing. So this is a huge pro for used clothing sellers, especially in today's climate. We're coming at the end of 2020, which has been a very odd year, and the economy is kind of unsure right now. We're kind of still waiting on another stimulus. We don't know if that's going to happen. Some folks have been out of work. Some folks are behind on their bills. But guess what? People still shop for clothing. When the economy is not looking great, people may stop buying their luxury items and their video games, their electronics, anything that they don't necessarily need. But people need clothing because we have to wear it. Like by law, we're not allowed to go outside naked. So everybody has to wear clothing. Everyone that goes and works outside of the home has to wear clothing. A lot of people have dress codes at their jobs, or they have to dress nice, but maybe they can't quite afford to go and pay retail prices for brand new clothing that would follow their dress code. So a lot of folks are turning to the online world and shopping used clothing because it's more affordable. And the convenience, like they can just go online, order their clothing, it's shipped right to their front door. They don't have to worry about going out into the wild and digging through the racks and trying to, if they're thrifting, they don't have to dig through the racks and look for their size, try to find something they like. And a lot of folks are kind of still nervous about going out in public. A lot of people don't like to wear the masks. There's a multitude of reasons why right now a lot of folks are shopping online. But even outside of 2020 and the events of this year, everyone is always shopping for clothing. It is one thing people will always need, one thing people will always shop for, and one thing people will always be willing to spend money on. And as we move into the holidays, a lot of folks are getting money from their families, and this is how they spend it. They want those luxury Bolo brands like Miss Me jeans, can't afford them retail, they'll come buy them used from you. And then the fifth thing that I think is a pro about clothing is that it's easy to store. Some resellers will tell you that the storing of the clothing is a con because it can take up a lot of eventually it can take up a lot of room. If you have over 2,000 listings like we do, you'll have quite a few bins with the clothing. But I still think it's easy because you can label a bin and you can make tags for the bin, you know, bin A, and you can have 20 tags for bin A. And each time you put something in there, you can put it in the SKU line that it's in bin A slot 1, and you can store up to 20 to 35 pieces in each bin, depending on how big your clothing items are and how much room they take up. And then when you move on to the next bin, it stacks right on top of the last one. If you can get shelving units, that's great too. But if you're at a point where you can't afford the shelving units or you just don't have room for them, bins will stack on each other. And they're super easy to implement an inventory system because you just label the bins, like I said, and you can make labels to stick on the clothing that you can reuse. So if you pulled A1 item 5 and you shipped it today, you can take that tag and put it on something else, and you can just keep reusing your slots over and over. I did make a video on how we do our inventory. I'll have that pop up for you guys so you can go watch it, where I go into a little bit more detail in case I'm not making sense here. But I think it's super easy to store. You just need to put it in bins. You can get a really great organized inventory system. The bins stack on each other. Yes, if you get up to 2,000 or 3,000 listings, it's going to be taking up more room. But by the time you get to 2,000 or 3,000 listings, you should be doing a good amount of volume selling. You should be a power seller. You should have more profits that you can reinvest into the business, not only into inventory, but then you will be able to afford shelving units if you need it, more bins if you need them. So it's just a matter of room. But I have seen people resell clothing out of like 1-bedroom apartments, and they have found the room. They have made it work. So just to recap before I let you guys go, the 5 pros of reselling used clothing is that it's easy to find. Anyone can find it anywhere, so it's a great item to get started with. It has a low cost of goods, easy to ship. Everyone will always shop for clothing no matter what else is going on with the world. People are looking for clothes, and it's easy to store. All right, let me know your thoughts, comments, questions, concerns down in the comments below. Make sure you hit the thumbs up before you leave, guys. It really helps the channel. If you haven't already and you'd like to, please subscribe and help us feed a hungry hippo. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Flippin' Hippos on all the socials. And don't forget to join our Facebook group, Flippin' Hippos Reseller Pod. Until next time, guys, go be productive, go make some money. And as always, thank you so much for watching. Y'all are the best. Bye.